Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Game 6 of the Sparky Bowl. Detroit staved off elimination by winning last night in Detroit to bring the series to a 3-2 margin in favor of the Reds. The Reds can still clinch here in Game 6. Still a must-win for the Tigers as they trail 3-2. Hello, Dr. D. Every day is better when I'm retired. Thank you very much. Yes, it is. Very much so. Very much so. No question about it. But yes, particularly Sundays. I don't have to dread the Mondays anymore. The only thing I got to do Monday is go out and cut the grass, but that's not a problem. I got all day to do that. Not a problem. It's going to be great weather. The heat is taken away and been replaced by cooler weather. So tomorrow high is only in around 80 degrees with low humidity. So I'll be all happy. It won't be a heat index of 110. I don't have to worry about it. All right. We are in Cincinnati. And we got a match here, rematch of Game 2 in the, rematch of Game 3 in the, actually not a rematch because Fred Norman pitched Game 2 because the Reds are using 4 starters, the Tigers only using 3, so you can't say it's a rematch necessarily. No, you will not see either, particularly not Wilcox. I mean, their back's against the wall. They're not going to be able to do anything. So hello, Midlife, Chuck and Brian B. and Dr. D. Good to see all of you. I waited as long as I could. I don't want to be up real late playing, even though I'm retired. I still like to not be up all night. So I waited as patiently as I could for Robert to finish his ticker. And hopefully now that I've done that, we are ready to go. All right. Got our Cincinnati red colored dice. Fred Norman, he was a winner in Game 2 for the Reds. Will Cox was a winner in Game 3 for the Tigers. So, or at least he won the start. I don't know if he won the game. He won the start. All right. Hello, Colin. Good to see you. All right. So Wilcox will go back to the bullpen and finish up his warm-up tosses. Lou Whitaker is out. This is the lineups are exactly the same as they were in game number 5 because the Reds are starting a lefty. And, of course, the Tigers only start right-handers. So the exact same lineups as was in game number 5. So we're underway. Fred Norman to Lou Whitaker. Get a 6-2, and it's a potential walk. That's a 16, though. It's going to be way too high for that. So Whitaker will not walk, but he will go ahead and swing away. 5-2 is going to ground it right back to Norman, and that's going to do it. Ryan B., you can decide this however you wish. If there is a Game 7, I can either go with Pat Zachary or I can go with Gary Nolan. You can make that call if you think Zachary is better. Jack Morris is going for Detroit one way or the other if there is a Game 7. But you can let me know who you wish to go if there is a game. So Nolan, okay, all right, so Nolan, all right. So Nolan would pitch a Game 7, would start a Game 7 if we get to Game 7. The game last night, I forgot I had printed out the benches and bullpens. This was for Game 5 because the Tigers were the home team. But the participants here in the bullpens and the benches are exactly the same. I just have the home teams reversed. So you can see who's available and who's not. All right, here is Alan Trammell. That's a 1-5. That's a ballpark card going to Riverfront Stadium for the first time. Pretty good hitter's park. 2-5, and that's a double to right field for Alan Trammell. Trammell with a 1-out double. Norman, strategy roll. Nothing happening. Here's Kirk Gibson. It's a 4-4, and that's a strikeout plus. And so Gibson will go down on strikes. First strikeout for Norman. 2 away for Lance Parrish. Norman, 3-2 is a walk chance. That's a 9. He will walk him. Let's put runners at first and second with 2 outs. That's the first walk for Norman to go with that strikeout. And here's Larry Herndon, specifically in there against the lefty. He does really well against lefties. That's a 6-2. It's a automatic out for Fred Norman against the right-hander. Automatic out. And it will be a ground ball to short. Concepcion will just throw to first to make it simple since it's the third out. And the Tigers get 2 on but make nothing out of it. We go to the bottom of the first. It is Detroit nothing and the Cincinnati Reds coming to bat. And on the mound is Milt Wilcox for the Tigers. He was 17-8 with an even ERA of 4 in the 84 season. Fred Norman was 12-7 with a 309 earned run average. Leading things off will be Charlie Hustle, Pete Rose. 2-1 is a blank. We go to Rose. 1-1, that's a fly to left, and that's 1 away. That'll bring up Ken Griffey. 3-1, wild pitch, nobody's on base. It's a blank. We go to Griffey. You know what I sure did? I will fill those in. I was doing this in a hurry last night, and I knew I forgot something. So, but I will take care of that. 5-3. Thanks for letting me know and reminding me. 5-3 is a star 2. That's a ground ball to third. Surprised it didn't catch my eye in the beginning that was the case. So let me fill those in really quickly. Let's see here. Rose is a 3-6. Griffey, who just made that out, is a 1 with a 4 and a +1 arm. Morgan's a 3-6-0. Perez is a 4 and a 3. Of course, Dreesen's a DH, so nothing there. Foster is a 4-1 and a -1. Bench is a 5-5 with a 2 and a -1 arm. Geronimo, unfortunately, unrealistically, is a 2-3-0. Concepcion is done pretty well, 5-9 and a +1. All right, so now they're all up to speed. Thank you for that, Mr. Brian B. And here's Joe Morgan. 2-6, that's a blank. We go to Morgan. 4-4, and that's a single past second base. Single pass second base, and Morgan, to get the lead, needs a 6. He does not get the lead, he will hold. And Brian, we could say you will see ratings not filled in on the score sheet on the other channel, but you won't see the score sheet on the other channel. So take that, other channel. At least on here you see the score sheet. Here's Tony Perez. 5-4, and that is a blank. Brings up Tony Perez. 1-5, it's a pop-up to short, and that's going to end the inning. So nothing doing after the single by Morgan. Nothing else happened. Yeah, definitely no benches, no bullpens, no nothing. But you'll see a little Mickey Mouse scoreboard that he likes to click around. Go figure. But that's his style, and that's what he likes. So, hey, go for it. Here is Barbaro Garbe, the DH. 6-6, that's a blank to a right-hander. We go to Garbe. 6-5, single to right field for Barbaro Garbe. His attempt is only a 2. And he cannot get the, not that he would steal anyway, didn't have a good chance on that. Here's Chet Lemon. 4-2 is a blank. Here is Lemon. 2-5, and that is a ground ball to short, possible double play. He's a 3-0, halfway is a 4. The pivot at second, Morgan's a 0. 1-4, and it's a double play. And it is 6-4-3. Tailor-made double play, hit into by Chet Lemon. So 2 quick outs, and that brings up Darrell Evans. 2-4, that's a blank. We go to Darrell Evans. 6-2, ground ball to Morgan, and that's going to end it. So the leadoff single gets wiped out by the double play. Nothing else happens. We go to the bottom of the second, no score. It is win or go home for Detroit. Reds always have Game 7 to fall back on if they need it, but I think they like to clinch it right here. And this, like I said, will be the first World Series. I don't know what happened in 1940. I don't know if they beat the Tigers or lost the Tigers, but obviously in 72, they had a chance to clinch at home and they lost it. 75, they clinched on the road. 76, they clinched on the road. So they have never clinched well, I know for a fact they've never clinched a World Series title in Riverfront Stadium, except for, well, not even 1990. They clinched on the road in Oakland. So this would be the first clinching ever in Riverfront Stadium for the Cincinnati Reds. They did beat Detroit. Did they win the last game in Cincinnati? That was Crosley Field, though, but I'm just curious. All right, Wilcox to Dreesen. 3-3. That's a strikeout chance. 15 too high. 40 is way before my time, so I don't know much about it. Don't know anything about it, actually. 6-5 is a single pass second base. The only reason I know about 41 is because Joe DiMaggio and Ted Williams. That's the only reason I know about 41 or even care about 41. I definitely don't know anything about 40. All right, Dreesen to get the attempt is a 3. As is a 3, he will get the lead. 19 plus 1's a 20, minus 2 for Parrish is an 18. So we're going to send him 1 to 18. And he's in there. I'm trying to remember, is it a 1, 2, 3 or just a 1 or 2 that has the throwing error? It's only a 1 or 2. It's Stratomatic that has 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it will not be a throwing error, but it will be a stolen base for Mr. Dreesen. So Dreesen's at second base with nobody out after the stolen base, and here is Mr. Foster. 2-4, strikeout 12. He's only a 10. Stadium adds 1. That's still going to come up short. That's a 12 won't fit. Foster, 6-2, star 1. It's a ground ball to second, and that will get Dreesen over to third. So the steal, very important, prevented a possible double play, and it gets Dreesen to third with only 1 out. Tigers will, of course, play the infield in. Wilcox, 5-5, home run question mark, 1 to 13, but that fails. So Bench cannot hit a home run, but he will swing. 6-4, ground ball to third. The infield is in. Dreesen now becomes a 2. So he can score on a 1, 2, or a 6, a 50-50 shot. Brian B., do you want to send him on a 1, 2, or 6? He will score. 3, 4, 5, he's out. Send him. Okay. Again, he drops by 2, so the 4 speed goes down to a 2 speed. So a 1 or 2 he would score because he would beat the throw, but also on a 6, the only play is to first base. So 1, 2, or 6 he scores. 3, 4, 5 he is out. And he is out at the plate. So out at the plate, it's going to go 5-2, fielder's choice, as Castillo throws out Bench. And now Bench has a chance to get the lead. A 2, he cannot do it. So that brings up Geronimo. 5-2, that's the ballpark card going to Riverfront Stadium. 1-4, that's a single pass second base. Geronimo singles. Bench runs at a 3. With 2 outs, it becomes a 4. And let's see. First to third on a single. That will be enough. Hello, Tony. Good to see you. So Bench will make it to third base. So runners are at the corners. Geronimo with a chance to grab the lead or take a lead. And a 2, he does take the lead. 16, again. Minus 2 here is a 14. And then minus 2 is a 12. 1 to 12, if you want to send Cesar, you want to hold him. That's what I thought. Okay, so runners at the corners, 2 down for Concepcion. 2-6 is a blank. We go to Concepcion. 4-3, and that is a single to center field. That will score the first run of the game as Bench crosses the plate. Let's see about Geronimo. Runs at a 3. With 2 outs, becomes a 4. Lemon's arm is a 0. 1-4, and then a single to center to go to third. You will lose 1, so it drops him back to a 3. So 1-3, Geronimo will take third base. That's a 6. He might be out. The arm is a 0, so with the third throw, a 1-3, we go to the third throw chart. 4, 5, or 6, he holds. He's going to hold at second base. So Geronimo will put on the brakes. Reds take a 1-0 lead. And here's Pete Rose. One six. That's a strikeout chance. 6, and he gets him. First strikeout of the night for Wilcox, but the Reds break through for a run. Could have been more had the stolen base been successful. But as it is, they do score 1 run, take a 1-0 lead, and that puts even more pressure on the Tigers. Now they are behind in a must-win game. Marty Castillo will lead things off for the Tigers. 1-6, that's a strikeout. 10, got him. That is strikeout number 2 for Mr. Norman. Brings up Lou Whitaker, top of the order. 4-5, that's a range play. We're going to Whitaker for the range check. And that's a 2-6, single to second, but Morgan could take it away. Morgan's range is a 3. 1-3, and that single is going to turn into a ground out. It does not. It's going to get through for a base hit, so Whitaker sneaks it past Morgan. He's on with 1 out. No attempt to steal, but there is an attempt for a pickoff. But no 20, so no pickoff. Here's Alan Trammell. 3-4, that's a strikeout chance, but 15 is way too high. So Trammell's got a chance. He doubled his first time up. 1-1, he's going to ground to third, possible double play. He's a 1, 0. Halfway is a 2. The pivot at second, Morgan's a 0. So 1-2, we got a double play. That's a 3. So they will get Whitaker on the fielder's choice, 5-4. Unable to turn the double play. Trammell now the runner at first with 2 outs. His attempt is a 3. No attempt there. Kirk Gibson. 1-6, strikeout, 15. Got him against the lefties. Got him. Third strikeout of the game for Norman. At the end of 2.5, it's still 1-0 Reds. Wilcox will be facing Griffey, Morgan, and Perez for Cincinnati. 6-4 is a range play. We're going to Griffey's card for a range check. 6-4 again, ground ball to short. That's Trammell. His range is a 5, best you can have. 1-5, he makes the play, and he does. So Trammell erases Griffey, 1 away. That'll send up Morgan. 4-4, that is a blank. Would have been a straight-up home run chance against a righty, but against a lefty, it's a blank. Morgan will swing it, 1-4. Star 6 is a fly to center. Chet Lemon all over it. 2 down for Mr. Perez. 5-1, strikeout chance 14 is too much. Perez 2-6, star 3, ground ball to Trammell. And this is a much easier inning for Wilcox as he turns it around, settles back in. At the end of 3, it's still 1-0 Cincinnati. Norman can face 28 batters, so he can stay in there quite a while. Here's Parrish. 3-4, strikeout chance 3, got him. 4th strikeout for Mr. Norman. And although we did play the game physically last night in Game 5, in theory, it was a travel day back to Cincinnati, so the bullpen got an inning of rest or an extra rest, so no one is so fatigued they can't pitch in Game 6. Here's Herndon, 1-1, strikeout 20, too high. Go to Herndon. 2-3, and that's a fly to right. 2 down for Barbaro Garbe. 5-3, and that's an error on a throw, possibly, if a throw is required. 6-5, single to right. There is no throw needed because no one's on base. So no error there, but attempt of 2 for Garbe. And nothing's happening, so we flip it over to Chet Lemon. Didn't do a double play his first time up. 3-4, strikeout chance 6, got him. 5th strikeout for Fred Norman in 4 innings. And he has shut out the Tigers so far. He is doing to the Tigers what Dan Petrie did to the Reds in the previous game. And now it'll be Dreesen, Foster, and Bench due up for the Reds against Wilcox. 4-6 blank. Go to Dreesen. 2-4, and that is a fly to left field. One away. And that will bring up George Foster. 6-2, that's a ballpark card for Foster. 4-6, that's a double to left field for George Foster. One out double on the 4-6 on the ballpark. So Foster is aboard. Nothing on strategy. Here's Johnny Bench. 4-6 is a blank. We go to Bench. 5-4, that's a fly to left. That's out number 2. Foster runs at a 3. Left fielder arm. Herndon is a +2. So that makes him a 5. But then taking from second to third on a fly to left, you lose 3. Makes him back to a 2. So 1-2, he takes third base. He does. So how about that? The poor arm of Herndon allows Foster to move up to third, where he can score on a wild pitch, balk, all sorts of things, error, infield hit. So here's Geronimo. Now first base is open. Geronimo singled his last time up. They're going to intentionally walk Geronimo. Maybe a controversial move, but they're going to intentionally walk Geronimo and make a righty on righty lineup here. Now Geronimo could try for the lead here. Doesn't get it. So here's Concepcion. He's going to try to make the Tigers pay for walking Geronimo. 2-1 is a blank. We go to Concepcion. 2-2, and that's a power result to left field. It goes to 12, and that's a 9, so that's a triple for Dave Concepcion. So they made him pay for intentionally walking Geronimo. It's a 2-run triple, and the Tiger bullpen is active. They are loosening up in the bullpen. Juan Berenguer loosening in the Tiger bullpen. As Wilcox has given up 3 runs. Concepcion is at third with 2 outs, and here's Pete Rose. 6-2, ballpark, Riverfront Stadium. 1-1, that's a single plus. That will score Concepcion, and that's going to do it for Wilcox. He will be removed. Single plus. Let's see if Rose can advance. The single plus went to right field. Gibson is a 0 arm. He's a 3, so a 1-3. He will turn this into a double. And he does. So Pete Rose will turn that into a double, and that's going to be it for Wilcox. His day is done. And actually, with lefties coming up, they will not go to Berenguer. They will go to Bill Scherer. Started the season with the Reds and then came along to the Tigers near the end. So Bill Scherer. And his job is just to get the left-hander out and end the inning. Wilcox is going to go 3 2/3. He's going to give up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits. So far, 4 runs, all earned. The only walk was the intentional walk. And the strikeouts, he struck out 1. All right, so now he's going to face Ken Griffey, Bill Scherer. And now it's looking like the Cincinnati Reds are having an intra-squad game, but that's just one of the bugaboos of inside pitch. Nothing on the strategy. Scherer. 4-1, possible error on the throw. Griffey, 3-5. That's a ground ball to second. That's a 7. Whitaker's error rating is only a 6, so there's no error. He will make the play, and that will end the inning. But 3 runs come in for the Reds. And we can close Wilcox out with 4 earned runs. And the way that Norman's pitching, those 4 runs might very well hold up. So we go to the top of the 5th, 4-0 Cincinnati as they look to celebrate at home by winning Game 6. And closing out the series, 5-3 is a possible error on the throw. Go to Evans. Whoops, go to Evans. 3-4, and that is a star 5, which is a fly to left field. So Evans is out of there, 1 down. Marty Castillo. 2-1, that's a blank because he's not tired. 2-2, fly to center. Geronimo is there. And Norman is pitching just like Petrie did last time. Solidly in control. Doesn't look good for the Tigers. 3-3 strikeout chance, and that is a 15. That's going to be too high. Whitaker, 4-4, pops it to short, and that's going to end the inning. So 5 solid shutout innings from Fred Norman. And we move on to the bottom of the 5th. Scherer will face Morgan, Perez, and Dreesen. Then once he's done with Dreesen, if the inning still continues, they will bring in Berenguer to face Foster. They only want Scherer to face the lefties. They got to face Perez, but the other 2 are going to be lefties. 6-1, and that's an automatic out against the lefty. That's the reason why we do that. And it's a 1, so it's ground ball to second. 1 away. Here's Perez. 2-4, and that's a range play. 3-3, and that against the lefty is a ground ball to first, but it's a range check on Evans. His range is is a 4. His range is a 4. And he can't get it. It's a base hit. Base hit for Tony Perez. Sneaks it past Evans. Perez, an attempt of 2. Nothing happening. Last batter for Scherer to face is Dan Dreesen. This will be the last one he faces. 1-2 is a ballpark card going to Riverfront. 2-2, and that's a home run to the pull side, but that's an 18, so Dreesen will just hit a deep fly to right field for out number 2, and that will do it for Scherer. They will bring in Juan Berenguer to continue from here. So Dreesen is out. He hit it well, but not quite well enough. And so Berenguer is on to face George Foster. Scherer is going to go 1 inning, give up a hit, nothing else. He is responsible for Perez. No walks, no strikeouts. So George Foster will be facing Juan Berenguer. 2 outs, runner at first in Perez. Nothing happening on the Havoc. 3-1, strikeout 1, and that is a 1. That's that on this die, that thing that's almost gone is a 1, so it is a strikeout to end the inning. So Scherer gets away with no runs allowed. We go to the 6th. It is still 4-0 Cincinnati. Don't give them any more runs than they need. 4 is probably enough already. No sense giving them more help. Norman will be facing Trammell, Gibson, and Parrish, heart of the order. Tony Perez, huh? All right. Tigers need to make something happen. They're running out of innings. 6-4 is a blank chance, so we go to Trammell. 2-5, that's a fly to center. Norman just has them befuddled. The only guy that's hit Norman so far is Garbage, 2 for 2. There's Gibson. He struck out twice. 3-5. Might be a hit by pitch. He's a 10 -1. That's a 15, so no hit by pitch. 5-4, and that is a power result against the left-handers. It goes up to 18. That's a 1, so it'll just simply be a single for Gibson. So Gibson now with an attempt of 4. Nope, nothing going on there. Here's Lance Parrish. 5-3, and that is a possible error on a throw. 2-5, that's a single to center field. That's a 1, so we will have a throwing error on Geronimo. He's a 3, but that's a 1, so there will be a throwing error on Geronimo. So now I got to figure out how to play this thing. Single to center. Gibson runs as a 4. Geronimo's arm is a 0. Going from first to third, you lose one, makes him a 3. So let's see if he can get there, first of all. He does. So he's going to get to third, and the throwing error is going to bring him home. So he goes to third on the base hit. The E8 brings him home. E8 is going to send Parrish to second base. Actually, could send him to third because we got a 1 there. So Parrish is a 2, and he is a 2. So it's actually going to send him to third base because he takes second on the throw and goes to third on the E8. So rough play there by Geronimo. Billingham is warming up. You want to pull Norman right now against Larry Herndon? Is that what you're saying? Pull him already? He's still got plenty of fatigue. He's been pitching well, but if you want me to pull him, I'll pull him. Pull Norman and Billingham. All right, so Billingham will come on. We'll do the numbers on Norman as best we can. He is responsible for the runner, Parrish. He can win it. He cannot lose it. Norman's going to go 5 1/3. And he's going to give up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits. So far, just the 1 run, but he is responsible for the second run. Let's see, walked 1. I think that's the only walk was Parrish. And he struck out 5. So he is in line to get the win, and now Jack Billingham will be facing Herndon. But will they? They're going to actually pull Herndon and pinch hit for Herndon with Rupert Jones. Normally, my rule is you can't pinch hit until the 7th, but once pitching changes are made, all bets are off because that changes the dynamics. So Jones will come in, pinch hit, stay in the game, play left field. He's a much better defensive outfielder for sure. 5-0-0. He runs at a 3, so it's a little bit better. So Rupert Jones will do the pinch hitting. Rupert Jones, and I know it's the wrong color or whatnot, but I got the names are there, so that's what's more important. We have Shearer that's been used, and we got Berenguer, so that gives everybody, so you can know who's available and who's not. All right, so Billingham facing Rupert Jones. I'm assuming, Brian B., with a 4-1 lead, you would want to play the infield back with a runner at third and 1 out, or I'll play him in if you want me to. However you want to do it. If you want to take a chance of a range play or whatever, I can play him in. Play him back. Okay. Billingham to Jones. Whoop, that got hung up, so we're going to re-roll the whole thing. Billingham to Jones. And did it again. Why is this doing this? Try it again. Okay, there we go. 2-3. 2-3 against the lefties, an automatic out. So it will be a 5, which is a ground ball to third. Parrish only runs at a 2. He's going to have to hold. There's no question about that. So ground ball to Rose, 2 down. He holds. Here's Garbe. He's 2 for 2. We're going to let Garbe hit against Billingham. Even though it's righty-righty, we're still going to let Garbe hit. 6-4, and that's a walk chance. He walks at a 7. Plus 1's an 8. That's a 6. He will walk. So Garbe draws the walk. Oops, strategy roll. Nothing happening. And here's Chet Lemon. Billingham, 2-6, possible error on a ground ball. 1-2, and that's a power result to right field. It goes to 15. That's a 3. That's a single to right field. We do need to check for an error. Single to right will score Parrish to make it 4-2. You can close the book on Norman now. He gives up 2 runs. And now let's see. Garbe on the single to right. Garbe runs at a 2. Griffey's a +1, makes him a 3. 2 outs makes him a 4. First to third. You gain 2, makes him a 6. So he will make third automatically without a throw. So actually, we won't check for a throw because it was, I believe, or was it? No, it was an error on a grounder. So I guess we still need to check for an error on Griffey. His error is only a 4, though. So probably not an error. It's a 3. It is an error. How do you like that? It is an error. E9, and that's going to bring Garbe home and send Lemon to second base. How about that? The double die shows up big time. It's 4-3. Here's Darrell Evans. Lemon at second. That's a 20. So 1-2 is a pickoff. 3 is a pickoff error. That's a 17. Everybody got back, or not everybody. Lemon got back. Here's Billingham. 2-5. It's a blank. 6-4. That's a pop up to short, and that will end the inning. But the Tigers roar back, pardon the pun, and cut the lead to 4-3 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Juan Berenguer only faced one batter, so he's good to go. Going to face the bottom of the order bench, Geronimo and Concepcion. 3-5, that's the ballpark card going back to Riverfront Stadium for benches at bat. That's a 4-2, and that's a blank, so we're going to the rare play chart. Bases empty. Rare play. See what happens on the rare play chart. A 22. Third baseman chases foul in the stands. Resolve as a P5 range play and check for injury. That is Castillo. His range is only a 2. He will not get to it. Now we check for injury. He didn't play that much, so I'm pretty sure he's going to be injured. His injury rating is a 4. So he's going to have to come out no matter what we roll. He's going to be injured. So it'll be a foul ball into the stands. Bench still at the plate, but we'll need a replacement for Castillo. And they're going to bring in Dave Bergman to bat ninth and play first base, and they'll move Evans to third base. So Bergman will come in and play first base, batting in the ninth position. He's a 5/5 with a 2. And Castillo is injured and out of the game. Evans at third base is a 2/7 as a third baseman. All right, so it's actually going to be Bergman leading off the top of the 7th. So Bergman will take over at first base and bat in the 7th position. Johnny Bench back at the dish with a strike 1 count. Yep, cookie cutter, 271 at bats, but he's a cookie cutter. That again is one of my big riffs with inside pitch. If they can card a guy with 20 at bats and make a grid for him, they can do some splits on a 271. I don't care if he had 15 at bats against lefties. That should tell you something. I'm not going to get in that tangent. I've been on that tangent for years, so we'll get off of that. All right, here's Johnny Bench. 4-1 possible error on a throw. 2-4, star 6, fly to center, no throwing error to worry about. And there's one away. Here is Geronimo. 3-2, and that is a automatic out to a lefty. And the automatic out will be a fly to left. 2 down for Concepcion. 3-1 strikeout, but 15 is too high. We go to Concepcion. 6-1 single to left field. So Concepcion is 3 for 3. His attempt is a 3. Does not get the lead. So we go back to the top of the order for Pete Rose. Berenguer trying to get out of the inning. 4-3. That's a range play. Go to Pete Rose for a range check. 2-5, and that's a power result to left field. Against right-handers, it goes to 14. That's a 2. It'll be a single to right, but it is a range play. I'm sorry, single to left, but it is a range play, and the new left fielder, Rupert Jones, just happens to be a 5. So some manager somewhere thought it was a good idea to bring in a 5-rated left fielder instead of a 2-rated left fielder. I wonder who that was. That had to be the guy with the groans and the barfs. All right, so 1-5, and he makes the catch, which he does to end the inning. Nothing doing there. We go to the top of the 7th. Berenguer has a lot of, he can face 14 batters in relief, so he's not in any way tired at all. Same with Billingham. Hello, Robert. Same with Billingham. He's got a lot of juice too. So top of the 7th, Bergman with his first at bat since coming in for the injured Castillo. 4-3 Tigers. They trailed 4-0, but roared back for 3 runs on a couple of errors, one by 2 outfielders, one by Geronimo and one by Griffey. So, Billingham to Bergman. 5-6 is a blank. We go to Bergman. 5-2. That's a fly to right. 1 down and back to the top of the order for Lou Whitaker. 3-1. That's a home run question mark. 1-9, but that's a 15. It fails. So Whitaker cannot homer, but he can swing. 5-1. He lines it hard, but right to Joe Morgan for out number 2. So 2 down, and here comes Alan Trammell. 1 for 3. 2-6. That's a possible error on a ground ball. 5-4. That's a fly to left, so no ground ball error to worry about. 1-2-3 inning for Jack Billingham. And we go to the bottom of the 7th inning stretch time here at Riverfront Stadium, or the stadium in front of the river, however you want to call it. Score is 4-3. And since we're at the 7th inning stretch, you know what time that is. That is time for Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Yes, Brian, I saw that. That was on YouTube. It was a 1997 game. Last home game, 97. I think I want to say it's against the Phillies. I remember watching that on YouTube. All right, so we are back. We are back for the bottom of the 7th. Loosening in the Tiger bullpen is Senor Smoke Aurelio Lopez, just in case Berenguer gets into trouble. 4-3 Reds, bottom of the 7th. 5-4, that is the ballpark card going back to Riverfront Stadium. It's pretty hitter friendly. 3-4, and that's a home run to the pull side. That's a 6, but that's a 12. So just a deep fly to right field for out number 1. Brings up Morgan. 6-5, home run question mark, 1-10 against lefties. That's a 2. It passes. It's gone. Joe Morgan's going to have an automatic home run. It is out of here. It is now a 5-3 ball game. And that's going to do it for Berenguer. They're going to bring in Lopez. They can't wait any longer. So Senor Smoke, Aurelio Lopez, will make his way into the game. Close the book on Berenguer. Berenguer goes 1 2/3 innings. Gives up 2 hits and a run. No walks and a strikeout. And now Lopez on for the Tigers. And he'll be facing Perez and then Dreesen. Lopez, 5-3. Ballpark part again, going back to Riverfront for Perez. If he gets the home run chance, it looks like a good one. 4-3. He does not get that, but he does get a single plus to center field. Lemon's arm is a 0. He's a 2. So 1-2, and he turns this into a double. 6. Now I'm trying to remember on this play here. 6 just means he holds. I don't think he's out on a 6. Is that correct? Don't you have to roll like a 66 or something for it to be an out? I know they kind of updated that. Robert, you're the expert on this thing. You can let me know for sure. But on the S+8 and we roll a 6, do we check for an out or we just say he holds? What is the proper thing on that? It's the 6. He could be out. Check for an out. Okay. Are we checking for an out on that secondary chart? Is that what we're doing? Are we checking with the 0? I'm assuming that means we're checking this chart here to see if he holds or go to the third chart. I'm guessing that's what we do. That's a 4, and that 4 means that he holds. All right, so he will hold at first base with a single. So single for Tony Perez. Strategy rolls are still on. Perez's attempt is a 2. 20, but there's a chance of a balk on Lopez. That's a 2. He's going to balk. So he balks him to second base. How about that? Lopez having some issues as he balks Perez over to second base. And now that'll send up Dreesen. 2-1, and that is a walk chance. 18 is too high. No, 18 is not too high. 17 plus the 1 from the stadium will be a walk. And that will bring up Foster. Lopez on shaky ground facing George Foster with first and second and 1 out. Got to get Foster here. 6-4, strikeout 11, and he does. It's a 10, but the stadium adds 1, so the strikeout is good. Now it's down to Johnny Bench with 2 outs and 2 on. Lopez to Bench. 4-5, and that is a range play on Bench. 3-6, that's a fly to center. We're checking the range of Lemon. He's a 5. It's a must catch. And he does. Makes the catch and prevents any further damage. 1 run for the Reds. They lead it 5-3. And Sparky of Detroit a little frustrated with his bullpen. They figure they had the bullpen advantage coming into the series, but it's not turning out that way right now. So we go to the top of the 8th. It'll be Gibson, Parrish, and Jones against Jack Billingham. 5-5 is a range play. We go to Gibson for the range check. 4-6, that's a single to second, but it could be taken away. Morgan's a 3. So 1-3, he takes the hit away. And he does. So Morgan wipes out that single on the range play. Gibson is out. And here's Parrish. 1-5 is a blank. We go to Parrish. 5-6, ground ball to Rose. That's 2 down. Reds 4 outs away from winning the Sparky Bowl. 4-2. Billingham, 2-2 is a blank. We go to Rupert. 5-5, that's a single pass second. Tying run will come to the plate, and Barbaro Garbe, he is 2 for 2. Doesn't have any power against lefties, against righties though, so They're going to bring in a pinch hitter, Johnny Grubb, and he will stay in the game as DH. He's got a 14 sitting there for power, and that's what they need is a potential home run. Try to get lightning in a bottle. So Johnny Grubb will stay in as the DH, also running at a 2. All right, so Johnny Grubb is your batter. Yes, cookie cutter, absolutely. But he's facing a righty, so I didn't bring him against a lefty. That would have been cheating, bringing him against a lefty. All right, now Rupert Jones, check his strategy. Attempt is only a 1, so I don't think he's going to go anywhere. He is not. So Billingham to Grubb. 1-2 is a range play. Go to Grubb for the range check. 6-6, that's a star 2. Ground ball to first. We're checking Mr. Perez. He's a 4. 1-4, and he will make the play. That is a 4, and he's out of there. So it's going to be 3-1 covering. He flips to Billingham covering to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 8th. And Brian, if you want to bring in somebody else for the 9th, whether it be Eastwick or Bourbon or whoever, you can let me know if you want me to do that. In the meantime, the Tigers are going to bring in Willie Hernandez. Might as well. No sense saving him for anything. So Willie Hernandez will be coming on to pitch. Try to keep it a 2-run game. Lopez gave up a hit and a walk. Got a strikeout. Nothing else in 2/3 of an inning. So we got Geronimo, Concepcion, and Rose are your scheduled hitters against Willie Hernandez. Billingham is probably tired. Let me double check and see if he's tired. Yeah, that was his. He's faced, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, he was actually tired on that at bat previously, but he got away with it. So, yeah, I'm assuming you're going to want to go. You want to go to McEnany. Okay, we can do that because you do have Evans and Bergman, 2 lefties after you have Lemon. So, Will McEnany. Will McEnany did have 7 saves in 1976, but a high ERA of 4.85. So Will McEnany is loosening in the bullpen for the Reds. Right now, Geronimo will be facing Guillermo, don't call me Willie Hernandez. He's in there. Geronimo leads it off. 3-2, that's a strikeout chance, and a 4 got him. So Hernandez gets the strikeout. Here's Concepcion. 4-6, that's a range play. We go to Concepcion. 1-5, that's a star 3. Ground ball to third. We're checking the range of Evans. He's only a 2. But he makes the play. How about that? Darrell Evans knocks it down, makes the play, makes the throw, and there's 2 quick outs for Pete Rose. 3-3, that's a ballpark card going back to Riverfront. Pete Rose, not a lot of power. He finds a home run. 1-5, he grounds to first, and that's going to end it as Bergman makes the play. So Hernandez pitches a 1-2, 3/8 inning, but it all comes down to this. We're going to the top of the 9th. And coming in for the Reds will be Will McEnany. Will McEnany. Let's get the numbers on Billingham. He pitched very well in relief. Billingham came in and gave up just 2 hits. He walked 1, didn't strike out anybody, but he didn't have to give up any runs. And let's see, we are now in the 9th inning, so looks like 2 2/3 for Billingham. Very, very well. Good hold. That's the statistic for a hold. He would qualify for the hold. So coming up for the Tigers, Lemon, Evans, and Bergman On the bench, guys that have not yet been used. Howard Johnson's available to pinch hit. Rusty Kuntz is available to pinch hit. I'm not sure Brookins or Baker are worthwhile pinch hitting them. Bear and Rosamond, only 2 left in the bullpen. Any defensive replacements you want, Brian, or you want to leave status quo? Most of those, Griffey's the only one that's a little bit shaky, but I don't know if you want to leave everybody as is or you want me to make any kind of defense replacement for anybody. I will do so. If not, we will go ahead and let McEnany pitch away. All right. So it's going to be Chet Lemon to lead it off. Chet Lemon will lead it off. And we'll see what the Tiger Sparky decides to do as far as any pinch hitting. Here is Lemon, or McEnany to Lemon. 1-6 range play. Go to Lemon for a range check. 3-1. That's a liner to short. Range of Concepcion is a 5, so he should get to this, you would think. He does not, and I'm assuming the range plays for line drives are good as far as I know. Range check line drives, absolutely. It's got S6 here, so that's going to get through for a base hit for Chet Lemon. Concepcion couldn't get to it. Lemon is aboard. Tying run is at the plate. Darrell Evans will be called back, and Hojo, Howard Johnson, will pinch hit. And if for some reason it goes to a bottom of the 9th, he will stay in the game to play third base. So Hojo will pinch hit, switch hitter. Switch hitter Hojo. Hello, Canadian. Yeah, I was trying to let Robert finish his stream before I started. That's why it's late. All right, so Hojo is your pinch hitter, Howard Johnson. His first at bat of the series. I don't believe I've used him in any of the games before, so no bigger time than now. McEnany. Nothing on the strategy, and Lemon's not going anywhere. McEnany, 4-2. That's a range play at the park. Range play at the park. The infield is halfway, so they're going to lose 1 on their range. 5-1. That's a home run to the opposite field. Against lefties, it's only a 7. That's an 18. So it will not be a home run, but it is a range play for the right fielder Griffey because Howard Johnson's a switch hitter batting right-handed. So it's a range play to right field. Ken Griffey is only a 1. If he does not get this, it will be a double. And here's where some great managing just came in, because had Darrell Evans been hitting, it would have been a range play to left field where Foster was a 4. So we're taking advantage of Griffey's 1 range. That's a 2. It's going to drop in for a double. Double to right field for Howard Johnson on the failed range play. Griffey's also got a +1 arm. Lemon runs at a 2. 2 and a double. Or is a failed range play going to be... Is a failed range play going to be a double and 2 bases, or do you still check for the runner trying to score from first when it's a failed range play on the ballpark? I'm thinking you still check to see if the guy scores or not. I don't know. I'm guessing. I'm only guessing at this point. Lemon runs at a 2. Normal runner advancement. Okay, so Lemon runs at a 2. Double to right, you lose 1. And that will make him a 1, but then Griffey's a +1, so that brings it back to a 2. So 1 to 2, he will score. And he does. And since it's a 1, Johnson, I'm assuming, since you say normal advancement, he has a chance to go to third. He does not. He stops at second. But it's an RBI double for Hojo. RBI pinch hit double for Howard Johnson. And it's a 5-4 ball game. Coming to the plate is Bergman. He's cookie cutter, so the lefty doesn't bother him one bit. He's going to stay out there. McEnany. Whoops. Strategy roll. Nothing happening. McEnany to Bergman. That's a 5-5. Pitcher result. 1 to 13 is a single. That's a 6. It's an S1. That's a tie ball game. McEnany has blown the save, and the Tigers have tied this ball game at 5 apiece. Bergman, cookie cutter, like I said, didn't bother him. But in this case, it went to a single off the pitcher result, and McEnany gave up the hits. And as he says, 9th inning strikes again. Brian B., you want me to bring in Bourbon, Eastwick, Sarmiento, Alcala, anybody else? Or you want me to stick with McEnany? McEnany's only faced 3 batters, but hadn't got anybody out yet. All right, because Whitaker's a lefty on lefty, so I think that's why he's sticking with him. Strategy roll, nothing happening. McEnany to Whitaker. 5-5. That's another pitcher result, the exact same roll, but this time 1-18, he gets a break, so it's a blank. Got a break. Here's Whitaker. 4-1 is going to fly to center, and that's out number 1. 1 down for Alan Trammell. Now with the righty, do we want to make a move? I'll leave it up to you. If you want to bring in a right-hander for the right-hander Trammell, of course you got the lefty Gibson right behind him, so not sure how you want to play it, but let him pitch to Trammell. Very good. Okay. Bergman, nothing going on there. McEnany to Trammell. 1-3. That's a possible error on a throw. Go to Trammell. 5-2. That's a single to second base. We'll see if there's an error. That's a 20. There is no error. It's just a single pass second. Single pass second. To get to third base, you need a 3 or better. Bergman is only a 2. So he will hold at second base. Could have pinch run for him, but I like his defense. I didn't want to lose his defense at first base. So Trammell's aboard, first and second, 1 out. And that's going to bring up Gibby. McEnany to Gibby. This is batter number 6. He'll be tired after this. 1-4. That's the ballpark card. Going to Riverfront Stadium for Kirk Gibson. And if he finds a home run, it's automatic. Wait a minute. You want to pull McEnany now? Or let him pitch to Gibby? He's not tired right now. I've already done the ballpark card, so it's kind of hard to pull him now. I'm gonna have to let him pitch. 6-1. It's a single to right field by Gibson. Single to right. Morgan's a +1. Bergman's a 2. Makes it a 3. Single to right. You gain 1 to make it a 4. So 1-4. The Tigers take the lead. They do. Bergman scores. Tigers with 3 runs in the 9th. Trammell will take third as he runs at a 3. +1 from Griffey is a 4, and going from first to third, you add 2 makes him a 6. So his advance there is automatic, and that's going to be it for McEnany. And the Reds will go to the bullpen and figure out who they want to bring in. They need a right-hander to face Lance Parrish. So I'm assuming we will go to either Bourbon or Eastwick. It's going to be Mr. Eastwick, Witches of Eastwick. So we bring in Raleigh Witches of Eastwick. He will come in. McEnany just, as they used to say in the old days, he crapped the bed. So Eastwick blew the save. McEnany is going to go 1/3 of an inning. He's going to give up 5 hits and 3 runs, and he's also responsible for these 2 runners. No walks, no strikeouts. And I'm guessing you want to play the infield in since it's runners on the corners and only 1 out. I'm assuming you want to play infield in. I'm guessing. Since you're down by 1, I would assume you want to play infield in. Although Parrish does have a 3 double play rating, and he's got a +1, so the double play chance is actually pretty good. So I'll let you decide. You want to play double play depth. Okay. First of all, let's check Gibson because strategy rolls are still on. Gibson is an attempt of 5, -2 from Eastwick for 3. That is a 3. We can send him if we want. 15 -2 is a 13. -1's a 12. Boy, that's a tough call. 60% chance to avoid a possible double play. Wow. Do they feel frisky? They don't trust the D20, so they're going to hold him there. They're not going to send him. All right, so double play depth, Eastwick to Parrish. 5-2 is a hit by pitch. 2 and a 1. No, that's too high for that. So we'll go to Parrish. 3-5. That's a ground ball to first. Possible double play, but you don't get the, since it went to first, you don't get that extra boost. So it's a 3 and a 1 for a 4. However, you get the pivot from Concepcion to +1 to 5. So 1 to 5. Anything other than 6, we got a double play that ends the inning. And we do. So strategy pays off to play back. It's going to be a 3-6-3 double play. Maybe I should have tried to steal, but I hated to lose yourself out of an inning by doing that. Run yourself out of an inning, I should say. So 3 runs for the Tigers. It is now 6-5. Close the book on McEnany. He allows all 3 runs. Willie Hernandez coming on to try to save it. Well, he actually get the win because he already pitched the 8th inning. He faced 3 batters. He can face 7. So he's got a possibility of getting through everything. We shall see. Let me check my defense for the Tigers and make sure. We're not going to have Howard Johnson play third base. We're actually going to have Tom Brookins. He's a much better third baseman. Tom Brookins is a 5'7" instead of Howard Johnson and his 3'11". So we're going to have Brookins come in the game defensively for Howard Johnson. And Brookins is a 5'11". 5 range with 11 error rating for Tom Brookins. So that's what we will do for Mr. Brookins. Johnson got the hit, but now Brookins is coming in for defense. And everybody else is status quo. So Brookins is on, trying to help their defense out. So that means that Baker and Kuntz, only 2 left on the bench, and Bear and Rozema, only 2 left in the bullpen. Reds have all their pinch hitters available. Mike Lum is the one lefty. Everybody else is right-handed. So should you want to pinch hit, you can let me know. Willie Hernandez will be facing Griffey, Morgan, and Perez. Griffey is a .336 hitter, though, so it's kind of hard to pinch hit for those 3 guys, I would think. But you do have right-handed pinch hitting Bob Bailey. And Bob Bailey is a .298 hitter. Armbrister's .295. Flynn's .283. So you do have some good right-handed pinch hitting for sure. But looks like Brian wants to stick with the 3 that are on the lineup, so that's what we'll do. Willie Hernandez facing Ken Griffey. Bottom of the 9th, 6-5. Tigers have come back and staved off elimination, trying to send it to a Game 7, which would be Jack Morris against Gary Nolan. Hernandez, 4-6. That's a range play. We're going to Griffey for the range play. 6-1. That is going to be a single pass third, but it is a range play. And guess who brought in a 5-rated third baseman to play defense? Right there. And he got it. Easy play. You don't see managing like that on the Barf and Cheer channel. That's for sure. Here's Joe Morgan. We play chess here, not checkers. All right, here's Joe Morgan. Hernandez, 4-2, struck out Chance, and he got him. Down to the final out is Tony Perez. This would send it to a Game 7. Yes, you're the Barf and Cheer channel. Yes, Stadium Barf, Stadium Cheers. Or Grown and Cheer channel, whatever you want to call it. 1-6 pitcher result. 1-10, it's an automatic out. That's a 5. It's an automatic out. Hernandez does the job on a ground ball to Whitaker, and there is your ball game. There will be a Game 7. There will be a Game 7. The winner is Willie Hernandez. He goes 2 innings and gives up nothing, striking out 2. Loser is McEnany. Eastwick did pitch 2/3 of an inning and got a double play, but too little too late there. 6-5, your final. There were 2 errors on the Reds. I don't think there were any errors on Detroit. So let's check the hits. 7, 8. I've got the Reds for 11 hits, 5 runs, 11 hits, and 2 errors. I've got the Tigers for 13 hits. These are all unofficial because I'm doing them on the fly. You certainly can, and you can make your decision who you wish to start. Let me pull those cards for you. Jack Morris is starting for the Tigers. That's a given. But if you want to look at the 2 possibilities, Zachary and Nolan, and make the decision now because I want to make up the score sheet, and I need to make the score sheet with the appropriate starter. Zachary, the better ERA at 2.74. I know how good Nolan pitched in that game 4, though. So, it's a tough call either way. 15-9, 3.46, 14-7, 2.74. Either way, you're getting the Tigers with the left-handed lineup of Rupert Jones and Bergman and Evans. You're not going to get Garbe or Herndon because they're going to have lefties in there. Yes, Tabby is very happy, Chuck. You definitely have that correct. So you can let me know who you want, if you want, or if you want to mull on it. But I need to actually can't mull on it because I need to know because I got to make my lineup and get everything. Well, the lineups are the same, but I got to put the pitcher in the pitching spot here. Yep, 24 walks and 239 innings. That's pretty impressive. But you can let me know now against lefties. Let's see, do they do? Looks like Zachary's a little bit better. Well, actually, he's not bad against. They're both not bad against lefties. So Nolan, because Zachary can relieve him. Okay, because Zachary does have relief rating, so Gary Nolan will start Game 7, but Zachary will be in the bullpen available. Zachary is available in the bullpen, and if you wanted to use him there, Gullett is also possibly available for like a batter or two if you wanted him to. I don't know. But we're going to have Nolan, the starting pitcher, with Zachary ready in the bullpen for the Game 7. And let's see, anybody? Let's see here. Billingham went 2 2/3, so realistically he should be the last guy coming in from the bullpen because he went 2 2/3. Same with Willie Hernandez. I need to limit him probably to 1 inning just to be realistic. But it is Game 7, so they probably will say screw it and wear my arm out. So I don't know. Definitely surprising to me. I thought when it was 4-0, the game was over. But as Robert likes to say, a game is never over in inside pitch. So we do have a Game 7. It will be in Cincinnati, Riverfront Stadium. Jack Morris will be taking on Gary Nolan. That'll be the pitching matchup. Both teams will use Game 1 starting lineup. I'm sorry. Cincinnati has been using this lineup the whole time. They're going to keep this lineup. The Tigers will use the lineup they play against right-handed pitching, so that would be the Game 3 lineup, the one they faced Zachary last time. They or Nolan last time. They will use that same lineup, so you will not see Barbara Garbe, but you will see Darrell Evans. You won't see Larry Herndon, but you will see Rupert Jones. So looking at the lineup, I think it looks something like this. I think it's Whitaker, followed by Trammell, Gibson, and Parrish. And then you're looking, I believe, at Rupert Jones in left. Let's see. Can I find I have to look at I got to look at the World Series box score and see what they did against San Diego's right-handed starters. And that's the lineup I'm going to use. Whatever they did there, I'm just going to follow that pattern. And that's what we'll go by. So the only guy that may be a little questionable for Game 7, you got to watch out for him, is Willie Hernandez. Same with Billingham for the Reds. Everybody else is pretty much all right. So we're going to pretty much take Billingham and put him in the back burner, and we're going to add Zachary and Gullett to the bullpen. if needed. And of course, Jack Morris will start. Unfortunately for the Tigers, Petrie has no relief rating. Although you would think on a game 7 it'd be, pretty much everybody and their brother available. So we'll see how. I'm not sure how how to rate that if he's not rated as a reliever. It's kind of hard to put him in there. So they would like to have used Petrie, but he's not available. He's not listed as a reliever, so I'm not going to use him as a relief pitcher. No, you won't see the same guy pitch 9. And like I said, anything over 2 innings, I start to be a little queasy about using him going forward. But we shall see. But game 7, yep, game 7 it is. And what I'll probably do, Brian, since it's a game 7, I'll go ahead and make up a new bullpen and bench sheet include the 2 starters that are going to be relieving for the Reds. That being Zachary and Gullett. So I'll include that and print that out for tomorrow, along with a score. Well, I'm not sure if I'm going to play. I'm going to get home late tomorrow, so it'll probably be Tuesday or Wednesday before I play game 7. But whenever I play it, I'll have that bench and bullpen thing there for you. I will be doing, and I don't know if it's going to be. I'm thinking I'm going to record it. I don't think I need to do it live. I think it's better to be recorded. That way I can put my thoughts out there. But I will be doing an in-depth dive into Stratomatic. It's going to be similar to what ID Jester and Sportsman Z did with Stratomatic, where they give the positives and negatives. I'm calling mine Stratomatic, the good, bad, and the ugly. I'll be putting that out at some point. I've already got my notes ready to go with the points I wanted to make and hit all the high points and the low points. And it will be primarily cards and dice, but I will mention the computer, the good, bad, and the ugly on that as well. Oh, really? On you talking about Stratomatic or what? It's not a rant. It's definitely not a rant. I'm just going to give my observation as to the things I like, things that Strat does well, things that Strat could improve on, and things that Strat fails at miserably. I'm just going to, run through those. I would say it's probably going to be about 85 to 90% positive. So, in fact, on my little outline, I think I've got 9 good, 3 bad, and 2 ugly, or something like that. So it's not anything. It's not going to nearly be it's nowhere near going to be a ID Jester rant. Put it that way. But I'm going to be doing that. And like I said, I think it's probably better I record it, because if I do it live, when I see the people reacting in the chat, it's going to throw me off on what I'm going to talk about. So I'm going to most likely record that, and I will probably record that tomorrow during the daytime, or either Tuesday but most likely tomorrow during the daytime, and then post it either Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on what's going on and all that good stuff. If you're so inclined into Strat, tomorrow morning I will be playing around 8:30, 9 o'clock. I will be playing the next game in the 1987 Stratomatic replay. It'll be game 228 on the season. Third of 4 games on May the 14th. It'll be Cleveland at Chicago. Tom Candiotti against Joel Davis. That will, of course, be a live stream, but the Stratomatic good, bad, and ugly will be a recording. And like I said, it's not going to be a rant. It's going to be my observations out of playing many, many Strat games, my experience with the Strat game engine, the game company, the cards and dice, and the PC. Like I said, it's going to be about 85 to 90% positive. So it's not going to be a rant by any means. But I am going to try to give good constructive criticism where I think it's needed, and I will give them kudos where I think it's deserved. Everybody has their own opinion about Strat and any other game for that matter, so I know, I don't expect everybody to agree with 100% of what I say, but I felt like since I'm probably the guy that plays more Strat than anybody else on YouTube, I think I need to put something out on Stratomatic. So if somebody plays more Stratomatic than me on YouTube, let me know. The only one I think it's even close is Spokane Steve, because Jeffrey Guterman has been playing a lot lately. So I think Spokane Steve might be the only one who plays more Strat than me right now on YouTube. No, it will not be a rant, Joel. It will not be a rant. It's going to be, like I said, it's going to be about 85% positive, I would say. But the parts that I think they can improve on, I will give you my thoughts on not only what they can improve on, but how they can improve on it. So I am going to try to give solutions. What my solution would be if I were king and I ran Stratomatic, I'm going to give what my solutions would be to their shortcomings. So take that however you wish, but I don't think I'm going to be able to affect how Richmond or Stratomatic or anybody else like that. It just felt like I've been needing to get this off my chest for a long time. So, but like I said, it's going to be mostly positive. Nothing's going to be, definitely not. And even the parts that I go over that I don't care for, I will not be getting overly excited and loud and whatnot. I'm going to try to look at it calmly and, like I said, give an alternative to what I would do to help alleviate what I feel is that particular shortcoming. I don't have that, like I said, mostly positive. I don't have that many. So, and like I said, I haven't created my own game, so I don't want to be critical too much of game company if I don't, I don't have the old adage is, well, if you think you could do better, create your own game. Well, I'm not going to sit there and try to create my own game. So, but yeah, I don't want to be overly negative, but I don't want to sugarcoat it either. I'm going to call a spade, and but also where it's positive, I'm going to give the attaboys. So, like I said, just these are my opinions. These are not in stone or anything like that. I don't expect everybody to agree with everything I say, but like I said, it will be about a 30-minute video that I'll record and I will upload, and just give everybody a heads up out there. That's what's coming. So tomorrow morning will be the regular Stratomatic game, Cleveland, Chicago, and then tomorrow afternoon I'll record this Stratomatic thing and probably throw it out there. Well, I might throw it out there tomorrow night after RJL's game is finished. Maybe I'll put it out there around 9:30 tomorrow night. And of course, it's a recording, so people can digest it however they like. But I don't want to step on anybody's toes while they're trying to stream. So that's going to do it from here. Again, an exciting game 6 in Sparky Bowl. Tigers came back, forced a game 7, and that game will most likely be on Tuesday night, right after RJL finishes his game. So probably around 9:15, 9:30, something like that, Tuesday night will be game 7. And it will be Jack Morris against Gary Nolan. But Pat Zachary and Don Gullett are going to be available in the bullpen if needed. So that's going to do it from here. Player of the game today, I don't know who to give it to for the Tigers. Definitely a lot of guys came through, particularly in the 9th inning. So it's really hard to give a player of the game. I'd say the bullpen did very well. They pitched 5 innings, only gave up 1 run. So if you want to take the combination of Berenguer, Lopez, and Hernandez, that's 3 1/3 innings. No, I'm sorry, that's 4 1/3 innings of 1-run, 4-hit, 1-run baseball. It allowed the Tigers to be able to come back as they were down 4-0. So Maybe it goes to the bullpen as a whole. I don't know. Anyway, that's good over from here. It's getting late, almost 11 o'clock here on the East Coast. I know I'm retired, but I still don't like to stay up real late because I'm going to get up and do a game early tomorrow on Stratomatic. Like I said, probably around 8:30ish or so. And then I'm going to print out my little outline that I've got, or notes that I've got from my Stratomatic Good, Bad, and Ugly, and get that recorded and uploaded so that it is ready to go tomorrow night. And I have to also have a surprise coming after that, but I'll mention about that later. So that's going to do it from here. Tigers win 6-5, force a game 7. And that'll be Tuesday night around 9:15, 9:30ish Eastern time. Till then, hope you all had a great weekend and hope your Monday's going to be off to a good start tomorrow. Enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.